welcome back to my channel. So today I have a super exciting story time video for you because it has to do with my favorite people. So this story actually took place back in August at the end of the month, but backtracking just a little bit further, back in July I actually attended my very first One Direction concert and it was absolutely incredible. I couldn't have imagined it better. I feel so lucky to have experienced my first ever One Direction concert, being so close. We were right there by the stage. It was for my best friend's 21st birthday. It was just perfect. It was awesome. And basically after that we were in like severe after 1D depression, and it was like the beginning of August and we were thinking, we're like, oh my gosh, the boys are gonna be in Chicago at the end of the month, we should go see them. So of course we decided to road trip it. So we bought 2 tickets to the show. So we were planning to road trip at the end of the month, except my parents, they're not like strict, like my dad's just like overprotective of me, like very overprotective, and he has always had this thing about Chicago. He reads a lot of news, he knows about the crime rate and how crazy it can be in like certain areas of Chicago. Just really has never wanted me to like go to the city, and so I didn't really intend on telling him that I was going because I knew that it would be a fight and I didn't want to do that and it would just ruin the weekend. So I actually told him that I was going to the lake with Emily and her parents for one last big summer, you know, bash basically. I have a visitor. I have a visitor. We have a visitor. Oh. Look at how beautiful you are. Okay. I am not encouraging lying to your parents. It's not a good thing. I was super nervous the entire weekend of getting caught. Don't do it, kids. So that weekend comes around and I go over to Emily's house on Friday night because I'm just gonna stay there on Friday and we're gonna leave Saturday morning. And from where I am, Chicago is about 7.5 hours away from me. So it's basically just like a day of driving, not too terrible. So anyways, we leave Saturday morning, and also I actually vlogged like the entire weekend. So you can see everything that we did in the vlog below. So I'll leave that linked below in case you guys are interested. It does have some concert footage in there as well. But anyway, so we leave Saturday morning and we drive to Chicago. We get to the hotel and we stayed at the Kinzie hotel, and we knew that it was close to the Langham, which is where the boys had been staying like while they were in Chicago, because if you guys keep up with them on Twitter, they were in Chicago for like 2 weeks or something. I don't remember how long, but they were there for like ever. But they were staying at the Langham, and I didn't realize like how close we were gonna be, because at the Kinzie we were literally across the street, and it was diagonally like right there by us. Like you could see like the entire hotel from our window. It was crazy. And it was funny because there was like, you could see like a bunch of girls huddled together behind like a gate by the garage, like where the cars could come in and out. And every time like something happened, like they would just scream and we like would run to the window. We're like, what's going on? But nothing ever really happened that we know of. And but what was super funny is that we were in the elevator. We were going up to our room after we checked in, and this older couple in the elevator was like, yeah, did you guys hear there's like Zac Brown band or something across the street or whatever over there? That's why there's like a big crowd. And we're just like what? Like, it was just funny. Like, we went along with it like, yeah, oh wow, that's crazy, no way, I can't believe Zac Brown band's here. But we're just like, why would there be a big crowd for Zac Brown band? Like, they're all girls. But no offense to Zac Brown band, because Zac Brown band's great. But it was just super funny. So we got ready in the hotel, and then we decided to go out and explore a little bit, and we actually saw the Bean, which was super exciting to see in person, and we just explored the city. It was beautiful. Outside, we could not have picked a better weekend. It was gorgeous all weekend. So blessed. We were walking back, and I think we had passed the Langham at least once, and you could just see like there was still like, you know, big crowds, lots of girls, super excited because the concert was the next day on Sunday. But we went actually to go get a bite to eat and a couple of drinks, and I don't know if anybody else, I don't know if this happens to like anybody else, but I'm like really bad at picking my own drinks. Like if I don't get a recommendation, or I'm just like really bad because I don't know like a lot of alcohols, like I don't know what they taste like. So on the menu when they're listed, I'm just like, oh, it sounds like it's gonna taste good. Every time I pick my own drink, it's awful, but I drink it anyways because I paid for it. But anyways, we had a couple of drinks, so we were a little buzzed, and we decided to go over to the hotel and just act like we don't know what's going on and just see what's up. And we're walking up there, and there's like a little side door kind of close to the garage, and we see a security guard walk out, and we're just like, okay, he looks important, we should probably chat him up. And he is kind of like the main character of the show, so we're gonna give him a different name and call him Sean. So Sean walks out and we walk up to him. We're just like, hey, what's going on? Like, why are all of these girls standing around here? And he was like, I really can't say. And we're just like, come on, you can't tell us. Like, there's obviously something going on. And I think we're like, oh, is it Zac Brown Band? Like, we were playing around because that's what we had heard all night. So we're just like, oh, is Zac Brown Band here? Is that who's up there? And he was like, I can't say. And then there was actually like this blonde girl and her friend, like a little bit of the ways down. And she was kind of like, I noticed her like watching our conversation. And so she basically was like trying to weasel her way in. And she heard one of us say like Zac Brown Band. She was like,
oh, Zac Brown Band? Like Sweet Annie? I love that song.
And I'm just looking at her like, yeah, me too. She was like trying to make small talk and like get in on the conversation. Meanwhile, like Sean was just making small talk with us, asking us about the city, what we were in town for, and we're just going along with it, acting like, yeah, we're just hanging out, you know, exploring, never been here before. And the blonde girl or whatever, she looked at us at one point and she was like,
come on, girls, like, you know it's One Direction.
I looked at her and I was like, no, I literally have no idea. Like, what are you talking about? And the funniest part of this is that Sean, the security guard, actually like stood up for us almost basically and was like,
no, you don't understand. These girls have no idea what's going on or who they are.
I was kind of laughing. I was like, LOL. You believed it. So we were like, oh, is that really who's up there? Is One Direction up there? Is that what this is about? And I think at that point he was like, yeah. And so we were just like, oh. And we left. We went back to the hotel and we were gonna try and come back down like a little bit later, hoping that the blonde girl was like gone. Ended up like falling asleep. But before we fell asleep, I don't know how Emily did it, but she was like basically creeping through Twitter and she found the girl that was downstairs with us who was like trying to blow our cover. And it turns out, because she had told us like while we were down there talking to Sean, she said that she was a mom and that she had like a kid or something down there and she was basically just there watching over. So we believed her, of course, because why not? And we get upstairs and like I said, Emily had found her on Twitter. It turns out she's like 31 years old, which not a big deal. Like I'm probably gonna be 31 and still one DAF. But she turns out to be 31 years old, doesn't have kids, and she was tweeting about how she was lying about having children so that she could creep on One Direction. So we wake up on Sunday, the day of the concert, woo! And so we're super excited and we had a full day obviously before the concert started. And so we went out and we did all of our touristy things. We went to Willis Tower, to that little glass box, you know, so you can take the cool pictures. Like I said, everything that we did, like you can see absolutely everything, concert footage, all the good stuff in the vlog. Again, that's linked below. But yeah, we did all of the fun touristy things that day, really explored the city. It was beautiful. We even went to Brunch. If I can remember the name, it's like Bella or I can't remember the name exactly. It's like, if I can remember it, I will like put it down below because it was a really great spot for brunch or just eat, I'm sure, but it was really great. So yeah, we just had a lot of fun exploring the city and we were walking back to the hotel because checkout was like at 1 or 2, so we were gonna put the bags in the car and we were gonna drive back directly after the concert was over because Emily actually had to work on Monday morning at like 7 or 8 and the concert we figured was gonna be over by 11 and again, it's like a 7.5 hour drive, so we were gonna be pushing it, getting her back in time. We were going back to the hotel and we saw that Sean was walking out of the Langham like right as we were walking by, so we're just like, okay, we need to go talk to him, see what's up. And we go up there and he's like making small talk with us again, asking us what we did today. We're telling him and he's asking us if we're gonna go out tonight. And so Emily's like mainly doing most of the talking because I'm just like, I don't know what to say. And so Emily's just like, I don't know, like we don't really know what the city, so like we don't know where to go or what to do, so we're just kind of exploring. And he then got like a call or something, and like a call or a page, he was like, I gotta go, somebody, like they need me upstairs. And Emily goes, well, do you have Snapchat? And he was like, yeah. And so he came back and he gave us his Snapchat, so he added both of us, and of course we added him, and Emily and him were talking a little bit later on, but it was just like kind of cool. We were like, OMG, we got inside details. So we had each other on Snapchat and Emily and him were actually talking, and he was asking again like if we were gonna go out, and she was like, well, we don't really know where to go, do you have any suggestions? He was kind of giving us ideas of where to go, and at that point we had kind of decided, because we were thinking, you know, if he's a security guard for the boys, maybe he'll come out with them tonight, like maybe one of them will come out. We don't know, we just kind of kept our hopes up, you know, thinking maybe this is our chance. And so we had decided, okay, like I guess we'll try and go out for a little bit, like we can only stay for maybe an hour, we should leave by at least midnight. Meanwhile, we were just trying to make it seem like we were out exploring the city because we were going to the show that night, so we were just like, OMG, what if he's going, what if he's there, what if he sees us? And of course he didn't end up seeing us, it's a big crowd. While we're there, of course, if you've ever been to like a big event, like a concert or anything like that, you know it's super hard to get like cell service, so it's really difficult sending texts and receiving them. So imagine trying to use Snapchat. Emily actually kept going up to the restrooms. That way she could get better service to send him like snaps, because this way it seemed like we were out doing stuff. And we had decided that we were going to meet him afterwards, and there was like a bar that he had told us about. So after the concert was over, like they're singing Best Song Ever. They hadn't even finished it yet. We are walking up the stairs to get out the doors. That way we can try to avoid some of the congestion, because of course it's going to be crazy trying to get out of here with all of these people. So we're walking out, and of course we're not, like, we didn't want to take a cab because we figured with traffic and just the idea of getting one with all of these people around seemed kind of impossible. So we actually started walking. We were like speed walking like all the way back. And Soldier Field isn't super far from the Kinzie Hotel. I think it's like 1 to 2 miles. When you're walking, I mean, obviously it would take longer at just a normal pace. So we actually ended up just like running halfway through, like through the city, because there was points to where we were alone on the streets and it was kind of sketchy. So we just ended up running back to the hotel. Literally, guys, my body, like after this whole trip, like my feet, I did not pack the right shoes, unfortunately, because my feet were killing me. Both of our feet. Like the recovery from this weekend was just intense. It's just funny to think, like, I was supposed to be at the lake and I came home with like seriously battered up legs and feet because I'd been wearing dresses, and my like legs were hurting and my feet were swollen, like my toes, like it was insane. My body just in general was sore. But anyway, so we ran like back because we knew that he was obviously going to be taking a car back to the Langham, so he was going to take like maybe 5 minutes to get back there, and it was going to take us significantly longer since we were walking. And we get back, and we actually had parked in a parking garage like just a couple like buildings down from the hotel, because of course we'd already checked out earlier, and we changed like inside the car to like something a little bit more fitting for like the evening, and we met him down the street at a bar. It's kind of like an exclusive bar, like not a lot of people I think know about it, and it's like between buildings. There's like a bouncer outside. I don't know, like, I mean, I would tell you guys, but I think some of the boys have like been there. I mean, I don't know if they went there that weekend, but it's kind of where Sheldon said he takes a lot of his clients, so I don't want to like put that out there for like the entire internet to know. Sorry. We went to the bar. It was super cool and super expensive, so hashtag blessed, because Sean paid for our drinks. So yeah, we were sitting in the bar, we were waiting for him to get there, and meanwhile we're just like, okay, what if one of the boys walks in with him? What's going on? Like, what if? And he walked in alone. And so he sat down and he was telling us like all of this information. Apparently he was working, I think when Miley was in town. He showed us a video because he took a video of her whenever she was walking in the hotel because she had brought a pig. So he had a video of her and the pig in the hallway, just like super random stuff. And he also was talking about the boys because we had asked him about his evening, you know, what's going on. He was on his phone a lot, and so he mentioned, he was like, well, one of the boys is still out with a girl. So we're kind of keeping an eye on it, but he's out like doing whatever. He mentioned one of the boys was also smoking on the bus, and I was just like, LOL, Louie, what can you do? It was just super funny. I was like, wish I was there. I was just freaking out because I was like, we have somebody on the inside now. We know things. I think we were like done at that bar. We went back up to the streets and we were just walking around. I think we had gone to another bar. We were walking and he had opened a snap and Emily was right next to him, and apparently Emily said that it was a snap of Niall dancing somewhere, and it was just like really kind of like cool, and I was just like, oh, Niall. It was just a really cool experience. Like, we didn't end up getting to meet the boys, but like we were this close. So close. I think Sean just didn't want to share us, which is probably why he didn't introduce us, but whatever. It was like 2 or 3 a.m. like by the time, I don't think we left Chicago until 3 a.m. We had decided that like midnight we should have left. Like, that was pushing it. And then I think at some point in the evening we're like, okay, 1 o'clock, we have to leave by 1, and then all of a sudden it was like 3 a.m. by the time we were actually driving out of the city. So Emily was like several hours late to work, and on the drive home we kept falling asleep. Like, she drove most of the way and she had to stop and get like Red Bull, and she kept like rolling the windows down because it was cold, and she was blasting music to try and stay awake. And I drove for like, I was only able to drive for like an hour because I started driving and I didn't even realize it, but I was like falling asleep, and it was like super scary, dangerous, don't do it, not recommended. But we made it home safely, thank goodness. Yeah, I just came home and showered and just, yeah, tried to recover. And it was like a couple of days later, like Emily sent me like a text saying that she got a snap of Niall or one of the boys in the gym, like of them like in the gym with them, and I thought that was super cool. And there was one time Sean sent me a snap of like this hat, and I was like, what's that? And he was like, one of the boys, they left it here. And I was like, one of the boys, like I was trying to play dumb, but I was like, oh my god, who? I was like, oh, one of your friends? And he was like, no, Liam. And I was like, oh. I honestly, like, this entire time though, like while he was talking, I was kind of like sketch like about him. I wasn't really sure. I was like, I feel like he's playing us. Like he talks a lot of game, it seems like. I wasn't really sure if he was being completely honest. I think it was like the next day, one of my other like good One Direction hardcore like friends. So I told Britton about it on Facebook. I messaged her the whole thing about how Sean had mentioned one of the boys being out with the girl. Obviously we figured out it was Niall because he was the one dancing in the snap. And so I told her all about this, and it was literally a day later she messaged, she was like, oh my god, Brittany. And I was like, what? She was like, you remember how you said that Sean told you one of the boys was out? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, well, look at this. And she sent me like a screenshot. If I have it, I'm pretty sure I still have it. Like I have the conversation, so I'll just put it, I'll try to insert it here. But basically there was kind of like a rumor going around that Niall had hooked up with this girl and gave her like concert tickets. And it was in Chicago. It actually happened that, I think, Saturday, basically. They had hung out and they met at that Irish pub. And yeah, there was pictures all over Twitter, and there was like a girl that claimed to know her, so that'll explain it. Like I'll just put it in here for you guys to read. But yeah, so it basically just confirmed everything that Sean would have been telling us. So I was like, oh my god, this guy is legit. I was like, this guy literally like knows things. And so it was just kind of cool to have it confirmed, like, okay, we have an insider now, no big deal. But anyways, the weekend was great. I am super thankful to have gotten to see them twice while they were together. I'm super nervous about this hiatus, but Made in the AM is sick, so I'm gonna try and survive off of that. Let me know what you guys think of this hiatus or what you're gonna do to survive it. I need some tips. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.
Coffee cup, just a fingerprint of lipstick's not enough.